Hello, fellow social informaticians. Welcome to the seventh session of this semester, fall 2022. When I call you social informaticians, you should notice that today is not about R programming. It is about exactly social informatics, that part of our class. After having the previous discussions in the field of social informatics that we started with what is informatics, and after that data and information, and after that continues that thing with social informatics. So it was the first, third, fifth, and now it is the seventh session for social informatics. Now it's the time to do a case study. We are not gonna do a case study. In fact, we are gonna review a case study that some other people who are really professional in what they are doing have done. Case studies in the field of social informatics. What does it mean? It means they study the impact of technology in a field. Okay, the impact of technology in a field in terms of culture and organizational structure. That is exactly the definition of social informatics. If you remember, the definition of social informatics was the study of IT in its cultural and organizational structure culture. Okay, so let's check it better together. This is the case study that is a paper in highly credible journal of Harvard Business Review. No need to talk about the credibility of this journal, and it has been done by these people that I'm gonna show you a quick touch on the background. And the field of the case study in the journal has been announced as technology and analytics. See how much it is related to you. Why? Because you are data analytics students, so this part, and also it is of course related to technology and more specifically information technology is the focus of this course. The paper belongs to June 19, 2018. The title of the paper or the case study is The Death of Supply Chain Management. You see, some sort of dramatic title for an article in such a credible journal, The Death of Supply Chain Management. Okay, so since supply chain management is not a living being, I mean that thing that breathe and all those things that we expect from living beings or live beings. So that's the reason I'm calling it dramatic title. So when it says the death of supply chain management, it means that disappearance of supply chain management. It means that in future we are not going to have supply chain management. So it's a huge structural change in the organization of businesses around the world. And what has caused these radical changes? Technology. So they are reviewing this in this paper. We have many case studies in this regard. Of course, it's a very popular and it's a very interesting area for many people to do research in. But why I have chosen this? Because most of the emphasis in this article is on IT, is on data analytics, and they both are related to you. One I mean IT, through your course, and data analytics is your major. Let's go and see what we have. Okay, here, as you have noticed, we have an article, a case study in which it considered the effect of technology, and specifically information technology, on the structure of a huge field of expertise, supply chain management. And the article, as you noticed, is very dramatic, is very radical in choosing, in picturing the future of this field. As it says, there is no supply chain management in future, as I showed you. Okay, when we want to check such a claim, such an analysis, such a case study, it's good to see who are those people who have such claims. Are they experienced in the field of supply chain management? Are they experienced in the field of technology, information technology, data analytics? Are they independent of what they are discussing in this paper, have credible background or not? Let's check it. There are three authors. That the first one, as you can see, Alan, is a supply chain and retail expert. He was Amazon vice president of European operations for over 12 years and has held other executive roles at Apple and Tesco. The background completely says this person has a very good understanding of supply chain management and technology. The second person, Pierre, is a senior partner and managing director at the Boston Consulting Group, one of the greatest consulting group in the world. He specializes in supply chain management and the retail industry. And the last one, Stefan, is an associate director at the Boston Consulting Group. He spent 6 years at the COO of a consumer goods retailer and ran a supply chain expert network. His current area of focus is digital supply chain transformation. So, as you can see, all three of these people are expert in their field, and no surprise, because as you noticed, the paper has been published in the credible journal of Harvard Business Review. Now, after this introduction, especially that it is our first case study, because in future we are going to do more case studies together. And of course, in future, I'm not going to talk this much about what we mean from case studies and why we do them. But since it is the first one, I found it necessary to talk about it. After talking about all those things about informatics, about data information, and about social informatics and the meaning of it and all those things, it is good to see one applications of that study of IT in its cultural and structural context, the effects that IT has on the structure and on the culture. Here we have supply chain management. It might be interesting if I tell you how I first get this article. I got this article exactly at 2018. I used to teach supply chain management for graduate students in Michigan and definitely in Detroit. Because of the three car factories, General Motors, Ford Company, Chrysler and Fiat that are over there, and also some other factories, and consequently many part manufacturers. State of Michigan is always in need of experts in the field of supply chain engineering, supply chain management. So that's the reason state of Michigan, first of all, is very good in terms of industrial engineering schools, who are mostly the most related schools and major to supply chain management. So every year we got many students from all around the world and also the United States who wanted to study supply chain management, logistic, and all those things, and they all have planned to get employed by one of those car factories or part manufacturers as supply chain managers. And at that time, 2018, the job prospects was very good in that regard. I remember one time, one of the students who was one of very good students I had at that time reached out to me after class and showed me the paper, and he was worried because of all the investment in terms of time, energy, and money he had done to achieve the degree in the field of supply chain management. And finally, he found this article in a very credible journal, Harvard Business Review, that it says in future we are not gonna have this supply chain management. And so it seemed important to us. So we started some discussion sessions with the students because they all were supply chain management students. And I told you about this story to tell you that how much these changes, these structural changes, would impact the people who are related to these things. And I just told you about a simple story that the students who are studying supply chain management, when they see this topic, they may panic that, okay, what would happen to them. And we are going to talk about this later, because now no major is guaranteed in long term because of all the quick changes that are happening everywhere always. So I got the paper from that students, and at that time I didn't know that I'm gonna bring it to a class in the department of data analytics and discuss it from another perspective as a data analyzer. Now, when I talk about this paper for you, it should seem to you as an opportunity. But at that time, when we discussed it in the class at 2018, it was some sort of risk to the students of that major. Okay, as you can see in this slide, supply chain is the heart of a company's operations, because when you don't get the material, the input that you need for any type of operations that you have, everything would stop. So it's very important. And what is supply chain management? The management of the flow of goods and services between businesses and location, as you can see in the slide. So the supply chain manager has the responsibility of keep that flow of goods and services smooth and reliable between different parts. And finally, if you ask about what are those goods could be raw material, work in process inventory or material, or the finished goods. For example, if it is finished goods, it would be between the manufacturer and the retailer. I'm not going to discuss all these things in detail, and I just want you to get the general idea.